Hi everyone, thank you Catherine and UX Bonfire for having me. I'm Solby, a product designer, and I'm going to be sharing free resources and tips for new designers because it can be a struggle to navigate the UX field with so much information out there and no clear direction on where to start. So, to introduce myself, I'm a freelance product designer and branding expert. I'm a founding designer for 2 Silicon Valley startups building products end-to-end with a background in marketing design for startups and global brands. Currently, I'm working on rebranding for the leading crypto educational platform in the Netherlands, which is really exciting. These are some of my past clients, and they range from B2B to P2C, consulting to rental car startups, but they've mainly been tech startups, as well as some mission-driven organizations such as Liberty North Korea. Here's some examples of what I've designed end-to-end. The left is a dashboard tool for energy experts, and the right is a virtual conferencing room optimized for networking for professionals. So why am I here? I come from a non-traditional design background because I studied fine arts and media studies at university at UC Berkeley. And so free resources and mentorships really helped me to transition my career into UX without even a bootcamp. And I want to give back to the UX community by doing the same. So you might be wondering if you should become a UX UI designer. Will it be worth it to spend time learning about UX UI? So here are some pros and cons to think about. Some pros are that there are lots of remote opportunities, high demand for skilled designers, higher than average salary, you can create meaningful experiences, it is a creative outlet, and lots of opportunities to grow. Some cons are that it can be high stress, there's a saturation of entry-level UX designers, so not as easy to find entry-level jobs. So for example, a lot of LinkedIn posts will ask for at least 3 years of experience. And even if you have 3 years of experience, it can still be hard because it's quite competitive now. And also constantly persuading stakeholders who don't understand design can be stressful for some people. And it's always evolving and full of uncertainties, which can also be a pro if you like tackling challenges constantly. Here are some free tools and skills that you can use to get started. It's really important to get plugged into a community so you feel like you're not alone in this process, so you're constantly learning from other people. And UX Bonfire is a UX design Discord community for Web3 specifically, while Design Buddies is also a Discord community, but for general UX UI. Mentorship is also incredibly important and has been incredibly helpful for my journey as a UX designer. My apologies, there's some car noises in the background. But adplist.org is a design mentorship platform where you can receive free mentorship from experts. I met many of my mentors from companies like Spotify and Slack, and I still talk to them. And you can also use LinkedIn to reach out to designers you're interested in for a coffee chat, but this requires a little bit more work. You might not get a response. So I highly recommend ADP List, especially when you're starting out, because there's already a lot of mentors on there that are there because they want to mentor. So yeah, and then Figma and YouTube are amazing resources to learn and practice design. I highly recommend YouTubers Chunbuns, Femke, and Rachel Howe. Lastly, mentality is really important and also free. A growth mindset is really important because nothing beats the willingness to grow and learn, because we all start somewhere, and the ones that keep going and improving and becoming better designers are the ones that grow. Okay, maybe you've decided All right, I want to learn more about UX UI. Where do I even begin? So I'll share some things you can do right now, and these are not necessarily in order. First is to learn basics. So first you should learn about the basics of UX UI, terminology and theory, such as what is the difference between UX, UI, and product design. That's a question I had when I was starting out. I was really confused. What are the differences? I recommend UX Masterclass for a step-by-step intro to design theory, and it gives you practice prompts, and it's just really, really helpful because it gives you really basic tips on the fundamentals, such as spacing, how to use space, or use grids to evenly space elements for websites or mobile apps. Secondly, find mentors and communities. When reaching out, align your interests with their expertise, ideally, but maybe you don't really know what you want to talk about, then at least come up with general questions and with a pretty clear goal. For example, do you want to learn more about working with a startup, how to become a founding designer, or how to work in big tech, how the recruitment happens, what is the process? So just come up with general goals so that you guys can stay on topic and get the most out of your call. Third is to build your portfolio. This is really important. You do need a portfolio if you want to be a UX UI designer because it's a requirement for, I would say, all UX UI jobs. I haven't seen one job posting where they didn't require a portfolio. So I recommend to use no-code template-based websites to save you time, especially if this is your first online portfolio. There's no need to code your website from scratch, and unless you really want to show off your coding skills, maybe that's something that you want to include in your product design skills and portfolio, but it's not required for a lot of UX UI jobs. And to find projects, to create case studies, you can come up with projects yourself. Just come up with the prompts yourself for design your favorite app, for example, Spotify or LinkedIn. But make sure you are designing with the UX in mind, not just making it pretty, because that's a common mistake that beginner designers make. Find example prompts online. There's a lot of examples you can just search on Google. Enroll in a design course or volunteer to take on projects for free. Ideally, I would love everyone to get paid, but sometimes it's really hard to just get a project from a company or even a small business and get paid for it if you're just starting out and learning. So yeah. You can create your portfolio on Squarespace and Contra. Both are free with paid versions. Lastly, practice your design muscles every day and make lots of mistakes so you can learn a lot fast. I highly recommend Daily UI for improving your UI skills, your visual design skills, because it sends you daily design prompts via your mail inbox, and it pushes you to work on one prompt per day, and also recommends you to post it on Dribbble so that you can start getting positive or maybe critique from just the design community, which will really help you become a better designer. Lastly, I want to finish with this quote from Austin Kleon, the best-selling author of Show Your Work, which I highly recommend for designers, which is stop worrying, start showing. Because we all start somewhere, and it is better to make mistakes and learn fast than never start. If you enjoyed this presentation and would like to ask any more questions about UX UI or want to collaborate on a project, feel free to reach out to me on any of these links. I'd love to connect with anyone. And here's my email, LinkedIn, and website, and I'm open to questions and clients. So Thank you for listening. I have a part 2 where I'll be discussing designing for Web3, so definitely look out for that. Thank you, everyone.